Today I'd like to introduce you to this very unique book that I wrote some 16 years ago now, called Sexual Surrogate Partner Therapy. But before going further, I'd like to share with you the method I use to choose what books and what pages of these books I'm choosing to read on these YouTube videos on my channel. And I realize by sharing this I may be committing professional suicide, but I've spent so much of my life, both professional and personal, conscious and concerned what other people think. I'm really rather too old for that now. So what I do is my subconscious mind is guided by me drawing tarot cards to guide me to what books of mine I'm going to read from and what extracts I'm going to read from. And in this way I trust and believe, because it's somewhat divinely or metaphysically chosen, I trust and believe that there's some of you out there listening and watching these videos who will be particularly helped by the choices of extracts. Anyhow, those that really think I'm way too weird perhaps will have turned off now, and so those that remain presumably can bear to hear some more. It was 2006. My late wife Jane had just passed away after 6 years of struggling with breast cancer. She was only 54 when she died, and I was only in my 50s, and that's pretty much of a shock to have your life plans and trajectory cut short by such a shock. And looking back, I was immediately after her passing in a state of shock. I spent most of my time fairly isolated. I would spend hours upon hours in meditation, particularly meditating upon the sunrise and the sunset, and studying life and death and those big subjects in life, in our existence. And at one point I felt I must just get stuff out of my psyche, out of my subconscious mind, and down on paper. And I began to write. I started with a blank piece of paper and began to write. And 6 weeks later, this book had been written. I'm not claiming it to be the best written book on this subject. And indeed a lot has been written on this subject. But I write as I speak, which is rather unfortunate. But it's therefore easy to read and easy to understand, and really is about the inner workings of this therapeutic modality known as sexual surrogate partner therapy. Thank you for listening to this video, this rambling. I hope it's been interesting and helpful to some of you there. I'm David Brown, and this is the School of Intimacy Consciousness. and self-awareness.